Darrell Waltrip. In the late 1970s and early 80s, Darrell Waltrip was NASCAR's ultimate villain. They nicknamed him Jaws because he couldn't stop running his mouth, and he usually backed it up on track. Waltrip trash-talked and tangled with legends like Richard Petty, Cale Yarborough, and Bobby Allison, making himself the driver fans love to hate. Week after week, the brash Kentucky racer heard choruses of boos as he beat their heroes. He even drew the ire of NASCAR's brass for speaking his mind. But Waltrip didn't care. He kept racking up wins and 3 championships. Ironically, years later, Jaws became a beloved TV broadcaster, proving that even the most hated can turn into fan favorites with time and a folksy smile. Dale Earnhardt Sr. Dale Earnhardt Sr. carried the nickname the Intimidator, and for good reason. On the track, he drove with a win-at-all-costs mentality that terrified opponents and infuriated rival fans. Earnhardt would knock someone out of the way, anyone from Rusty Wallace to Terry Labonte, if it meant taking the checkered flag. In fact, he famously spun Terry Labonte in 1999 at Bristol to steal a win, shrugging it off as just rattling his cage. Crowds erupted in boos at that moment, a rare backlash against the sport's biggest star. Earnhardt had legions of loyal fans, but if he wrecked your favorite driver, you hated him with a passion. Loved by many and loathed by others, Earnhardt relished the role of outlaw and became an icon who still haunts the nightmares of those he muscled aside. Jeff Gordon. Before Jeff Gordon was a respected 4-time champion, he was the clean-cut kid who upended NASCAR's status quo, and plenty of fans despised him for it. In the 1990s, Gordon's California-like polish and habit of winning a lot made traditionalists see red. He was mercilessly booed at driver intros, even when he crashed. Some jealous rivals fans went so far as to wear nasty t-shirts questioning Gordon's background and toughness. Why all the hate? Jeff was beating their beloved Southern heroes and winning too much, as even he admitted. Media dubbed him the Rainbow Warrior, and to many he seemed too smooth and corporate. Over time, as Gordon's greatness became undeniable, the boos faded. But for a while, this amiable superstar was the man NASCAR fans loved to hate. Tony Stewart. Tony Stewart earned a reputation as a talented but hot-tempered racer who didn't mind playing the bad guy. In the 2000s, Stewart had multiple on-track feuds and wasn't afraid to throw hands, or helmets. After one clash in 2012, he famously hopped out and hurled his helmet at Matt Kenseth's car in frustration, a classic Stewart tantrum that fans ate up. He sparred with young Joey Logano in 2013, calling him a little punk as cameras rolled. Stewart also tangled with media and even got fined for colorful rants about NASCAR's rules. These antics made him polarizing. Many loved his no BS attitude, but others saw him as a loose cannon. Whether he was trading paint or trading insults, Tony Stewart's volatile streak ensured he was never far from controversy or the back page of the sports section. Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch embraced the villain role so much that he earned the nickname the Outlaw. In the early 2000s, the older Busch brothers' aggressive driving and hot-headed antics ruffled feathers up and down the garage. His feud with veteran Jimmy Spencer got so heated that Spencer punched Kurt in the face after a race, bloodying his nose. That didn't humble Kurt. He went on to berate his team on the radio, feud with other drivers like Kyle Petty, and clash with reporters. In 2012, Busch's temper boiled over in a profanity-laced tirade at a journalist, earning him a suspension from NASCAR. He even had a public domestic controversy that led to another brief suspension. Busch eventually mellowed with age and scored a Daytona 500 win, but in his prime, he was a driver competitors approached with caution, and fans often jeered with delight when karma caught up to the outlaw. Kyle Busch. No driver in recent memory has been as comfortable wearing the black hat as Kyle Busch. Rowdy Busch burst onto the scene, wrecking fenders and egos, most notoriously when he spun fan favorite Dale Earnhardt Jr. while battling for a win at Richmond in 2008. That single moment turned tens of thousands of Jr.'s faithful against Kyle overnight, drawing loud boos at every track he went to thereafter. Busch only leaned into the villain persona. He'd brazenly bow to the booing crowds after victories and talk smack in interviews. He also developed a habit of dirty moves, from intentionally wrecking Ron Hornaday under caution in a 2011 truck race. NASCAR suspended Kyle for that stunt, to feuding with stars like Kevin Harvick and Brad Keselowski. Love him or hate him, Kyle Busch's win tally and 2 Cup championships prove he thrives as NASCAR's modern antagonist. Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski entered NASCAR as a brash underdog who wasn't afraid to ruffle feathers, and ruffle he did. Early in his Cup career, Bad Brad gained infamy with aggressive moves and outspokenness that irritated veteran drivers. He had a fierce rivalry with Carl Edwards. They wrecked each other multiple times. And in 2014, Keselowski managed to anger both Denny Hamlin and Matt Kenseth in one chaotic post-race scuffle. That same year, he tangled with Jeff Gordon during a playoff race, triggering a garage area brawl. Gordon left fuming with a cut lip. Keselowski openly spoke his mind about competitors and even his own team, making him a bit of a lone wolf. In fact, apart from teammate Joey Logano, he doesn't have many friends in the sport due to his on-track antics. Fans of the drivers he crossed labeled him a dirty driver, but Keselowski never apologized for his style. After all, it already earned him a Cup championship. In true rebel fashion, Brad has always insisted he'd rather be winning races than winning popularity contests. Joey Logano. Joey Logano's journey from cheerful prodigy to NASCAR's public enemy #1 is one wild ride. Early on, Sliced Bread was a likable young driver, but by the mid-2000s and teens, he had developed a ruthless streak for victories. The turning point was 2015. Logano spun fan favorite Matt Kenseth to steal a win at Kansas, enraging Kenseth's loyal supporters. When Kenseth retaliated by deliberately wrecking Logano a few weeks later at Martinsville, the crowd erupted in deafening cheers as Joey's number 22 was sent into the wall. Logano was stunned. He said he was disgusted hearing fans applaud his crash, but it solidified his villain status. Since then, Joey hasn't exactly shied from controversy. He'll put the bumper to anyone in his way, from dumping Kyle Busch's teammate to moving William Byron for a win. Competitors have called him two-faced and overly aggressive, and some fans still boo him lustily at driver intros. But Logano wears the black hat proudly, and with 3 Cup championships to show, the boos only fuel his fire. Denny Hamlin. In recent years, Denny Hamlin has morphed from respected veteran to one of the sport's biggest antagonists, especially in the eyes of Chase Elliott's massive fanbase. The bad blood started in 2017 when Hamlin tagged young Chase in the bumper at Martinsville, spinning out NASCAR's most popular driver in the closing laps. The Virginia crowd showered Hamlin, a home state boy, with boos for wrecking Chase, and a new villain was born. Hamlin initially seemed caught off guard by the hate, but he doubled down with a no apologies attitude. In the years since, he's tangled with other fan favorites, from feuding with Alex Bowman, whom he called a hack, to door-slamming Kyle Larson in 2023. Denny even leans into the role on social media and his podcast, joking about being the villain. The media and fellow drivers have noticed his edge. Some applaud his candor, others call him dirty. Once merely a contender, Hamlin now embraces being the driver fans love to boo, and he appears to be thriving on the drama as he chases that elusive championship. Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace has unfortunately found himself cast as one of the most polarizing figures in NASCAR. On one hand, he's broken barriers as the only black driver in the Cup Series and has been an outspoken advocate for social change. On the other hand, a segment of the fanbase has directed outsized vitriol his way, making Bubba one of the most booed drivers at tracks in recent years. Part of it stemmed from off-track controversy in 2020. Wallace led calls for NASCAR to ban the Confederate flag and a misunderstood incident with a garage door rope fueled conspiracy trolls. The backlash was harsh, with some fans wrongly painting him as a troublemaker. Bubba's on-track incidents have given critics more ammo, like when he intentionally hooked Kyle Larson into the wall in 2022 and then angrily confronted him, an act that earned Bubba a suspension. Through it all, Wallace has handled the hate with resolve, acknowledging the boos with a smile or even an ironic bow. Love him or hate him, Bubba Wallace has become a central figure in NASCAR's narrative as supporters rally behind him and detractors jeer, a modern reminder that the sport's passion cuts both ways. Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs rocketed through the ranks with talent, money, and a knack for making enemies. As the grandson of team owner Joe Gibbs, Ty had a silver spoon image from day one, but it was his own actions that truly earned fans' ire. In the 2022 Xfinity Series, Gibbs developed a reputation for punting anyone in his path. The most notorious example, he dumped his own teammate Brandon Jones out of the lead at Martinsville to snag a win, ruining Jones's playoff hopes. Fans were outraged, booing Gibbs relentlessly after that selfish move. He's also been caught on camera throwing punches. He once fought driver Sam Mayer on pit road with his helmet still on, furthering the spoiled hothead image. Competitors and media have openly criticized Ty's lack of respect, and many see him as a rich kid who hasn't earned his dues. Gibbs did go on to win the Xfinity Championship, but even that was overshadowed by the negative cloud he created. In short, Ty Gibbs has managed to become the driver newer fans love to hate, a prodigy with a prodigious ego trying to prove he belongs while learning that respect on the track must be earned the hard way. Thanks for tuning in to the NASCAR Explainer. If you liked the video, do subscribe to our channel for getting more interesting NASCAR videos on your feed every other day. Which of these drivers is your favorite? Comment below and let us know.